Hello there, I am Sparkly of Guts and I am back with another YouTube video. So this week I wanted to talk about something that I think is really exciting. I want to talk about music that kind of fits Gothic Lolita aesthetics, and that's not to say that these are like the only bands that Gothic Lolitas can listen to, because that's just dumb and not the truth. But these are bands that I kind of found in my discovery of my Gothic Lolita interests, and mostly I think these will align a lot with old school Lolitas, and I find myself listening to these bands and certain songs a lot when I need inspiration. So I'll give a little blurb about each band, and then I'll share one of my favorite songs, just a hope to maybe share some of my favorite things with other Lolitas or other J-fashion people. Also, small update about something I'm really excited about. So as you can see, I finally got my septum pierced and I'm so happy. This has been like the easiest healing process I've ever experienced with piercings before. Not like I have that much experience, but it was definitely easy. I love it, and my piercer was super nice, so super glad. And I also just got one of my dream cutsos. I'll probably put a picture up because this is a weird angle, but it's a cutso cami by Black Peace Now, and even though what it says kind of makes no sense, it's just like so cute. I absolutely love this print, and I definitely needed it in my closet, and I'm so happy that I finally got it. With that being said, let's get into the video. Alright, so this is probably not going to be surprising to any people that are familiar with early J-Rock, Visual Kei, and or Lolita, but at the top of this list is Malicious Miser. So I'd like to say an unhealthy obsession with Malicious Miser, and they were definitely the band that was kind of the gateway into me finding out more about Visual Kei and my interest in old school Gothic Lolita. So Malicious Miser was actually active from 1992 to 2001, and I think it's very interesting because they have lots of French influences and also just like really cool synths and like choral background vocals. It's just like so much, but despite changing members so much, they kind of have like a really nice sound, and well, they had a really nice sound. And I'll also say that I loved every single era of Malicious Miser. So the eras went Tetsuo, Gakt, and then Klaha, and there are a lot of members, so I won't go through every single one of them, but each era kind of had its own flavor, and I really just appreciate the aesthetic that they created. I also think it would be a crime not to credit Mana-sama for being the kind of just the creator and just like pushing forward the whole Gothic Lolita aesthetic. And just I've talked about him many times on my channel, but I just really appreciate his brand and all of the different things that he does to bring flair to Gothic Lolita fashion as a whole. Alright, so I'm going to try to pronounce everything to the best of my ability. I'm so sorry if I pronounce things incorrectly, but my favorite song from Malicious Miser, this kind of changes like every week, so this is my favorite song right now, but it is Mayonaka ni Kawashita Yakusoku. So if you're ever in need of inspiration for an outfit, or just feeling dry creatively or aesthetically, I would definitely check out a Malicious Miser music video. Alright, so the next band that I'm going to discuss is kind of way different from Malicious Miser, and that band is Bandmade. So I actually found Bandmade before I was like super into Lolita. Like I was aware of Lolita, but I didn't really know too much about it. Bandmade has been active since 2013 and they're still active in the present, so yay, new content. But they kind of describe themselves as a hard rock, J-rock band, and I totally agree with that. Yeah, and they have like much more metal vibes or harder vibes than most of the bands that I put on this list. But for me, what has like Gothic Lolita inspiration is their clothing and their visuals. While Bandmade is supposed to be inspired by like MAID clothing, there are other members of the group that kind of do their own spin on like goth, visual K inspired fashion, and I think it's super cool. One member that actually inspires me a lot is Misa, who is the bass player. I don't know what it is about her style. It's like so cool and like sleek, and I'd love to bring that into my own fashion. So I often listen to Bandmade when I need a little bit of inspiration. And my overall favorite song from Bandmade is Decided by Myself. You should definitely give it a listen. Okay, so the next band that I'm going to talk about is Demilk, or Demilk. I actually took German for 2 years, but I'm still so bad at speaking it. But basically it means milk, and very interesting name. I still don't understand why they chose that name, but I don't care. They're super cool, and they've been around since 2012, and they're still active to. Basically, they're a band that is super interested in merging Lolita fashion with music, and they said this themselves, and I think they do a really, really good job of it. Finding a way to describe their music is really hard, but they describe themselves as a band that mixes classical, pop, and electro pop music, and I think that's pretty close. But of course it's close, that's how they describe themselves. But I specifically like the classical influence. Like there's a lot of orchestral music, and it's just like really nice, and I feel like a rich baroness sipping tea when I listen to them. I will say that my favorite song by Demilk is Fear. Really good. But they also have a song called Gothic and Lolita. Go figure. Definitely nice inspiration when I'm doing makeup looks. Alright, now here comes the portion of the video where I absolutely butcher every single name. I don't know what it is about French, but I'm just so bad at pronouncing French things, and it sucks because there's so many French named Lolita dresses, bands, just everything. I'm going to do my best. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. So the first band that I want to talk about now is LAREINE. I don't know. So they're a band that was formed in 1994, and they were active until 2007. So they were kind of brought about during like the heyday of visual K, and you can definitely see it in the way they present themselves or presented themselves. Definitely gives me Malice Mizer vibes. Not saying that they were copying, I think it was just a trend back then. So lots of French inspiration. They even had like a person in the band who like always like dressed up as a doll, and that's close to home for me, definitely. But yeah, absolutely love their aesthetics, and specifically, oh my god, the lead vocalist's hair is so angelic and beautiful. You just have to like check out their music videos because they're produced. My favorite song from LAREINE is Metamorphose. Alright, so the next band that I'm going to talk about is Raphael. So Raphael was active once again from 1997 to 2001, and they were a visual K band. Yeah, I feel like overall they're more aligned to visual K aesthetics, but as a Gothic Lolita who also loves goth, visual K, and punk fashion, I get a lot of inspiration from them, and specifically, once again, music videos. Like, definitely would check out their music videos. also I would say that just all of their hairstyles, like, oh my god, the lead singer does this like did this like curly ringlet thing, and I'm just like, how did you sculpt that? It is beautiful. I must try one day. Alright, so my fave song by Raphael is Hanasaku Inochi Aru Kagiri. I'm gonna write all the names in the description as well, because I just feel like I'm not doing any justice to the artist, and I'm so sorry. Alright, so the next band that I want to talk about is DIR EN GREY. DIR EN GREY. So they were actually formed once again. This is just a good year for Visual Kei, I guess, in 1997, and they're actually still active today. They started off as a more Visual Kei band, and you can definitely see that in their older pictures, but their style has kind of morphed into like a heavy metal, J-rock kind of sound, and I really like it. We live. But yeah, I like that their style is not easy to describe, and I've kind of been playing around with introducing new things into Lolita, and I think that's really cool that their sound has just changed so much, but they still kind of have their identity, and I think that that's something a lot of Lolitas are trying to apply to the fashion, changing it up a little bit, experimenting, but it's still remaining Lolita. So I find them very inspirational. And my favorite song by them is Cage. Alright, lastly, my favorite band that I most recently found is Velvet Eden. And so, okay, I had tried to listen to them a few times before, and I was like, I don't know. And then I kind of like sat down and looked through a lot of their music videos, and I was like, what have I been missing? So they were active from 1998 to 2010, so kind of more recent. And they describe themselves as an electric goth band, and it feels like so specific, but once you hear them, it's like so right. It's just like that is their genre, and it works so well. And instead of talking about them overall, I'm going to talk about one specific video that is it was almost life-changing for me. And that is Sad Mask. And this music video is so beautiful. There's like all of these dolls, and they're all like dingy, and the vocalist has like these perfect ringlets, and it's all like dark. And a fair warning, there is a tarantula in the music video if you're arachnophobic, but as an arachnophobe, I did watch the video and it was worth it. So this is going to be kind of a weird add-on, but while I was editing, I realized that I completely forgot to film for like one of my most favorite bands ever, and I could not just leave them out of the video. So one of my favorite bands that's still active today and is still making content is Mellow. You should literally go stream all of their songs. There's like so many favorites that I have by them. A few of them to like name are Romantic, Enchanted, just like, oh my god, there's so many good songs. And their lead vocalist is Iruma Ryoka, and she also does all of the composing, and she like does lyrics, so she's just really cool. And there's two other members, and just send them love. They are so sweet, and I would totally support them getting more and more viewers. Alright, I hope that you enjoyed some of my music recommendations, and I think I might try this again in the future because music is such a big part of my influence on my art and my fashion, and I love sharing my favorites with others, specifically new people that I haven't met yet. And I hope that you'll find these bands, give them some love, specifically the ones that are still active today. Yeah, so thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next week. Bye!